Hello, this is the RPG Crawler, and welcome to my Tabletop RPG News Roundup, this time for February 22nd, 2025. And of course, this is a new format. I've split the Tabletop RPG News and the Computer and Console RPG News into separate videos. If you're looking for my Computer and Console RPG News, I will post it before this one, although I'm not sure how much before this one. I will, of course, be making more changes to the format over the coming weeks and months, kind of diverging the two to specialize on more. So we'll see how this goes. And anyway, onwards towards the news, Kobold Press is looking to create an entry into the cozy RPG market. Riverbank will be a game of elegant animals, chaos, and whimsy, and will be funded through BackerKit sometime in April. So keep an eye out for it. I'll try and look into it. I don't like covering stuff on BackerKit, but I'll try and suffer for it through looking for it for you guys. It looks like the Monster Manual for D&D 2024 finally released on a number of platforms. I will cover the Roll20 version here shortly because it came out on DriveThruRPG, and it's in my DriveThruRPG roundup. But it is also available on other virtual tabletops if you prefer those systems, and you are actually looking to upgrade to, well, I say upgrade, to side grade to D&D 2024. Onwards towards minor and PDF releases, Shadowed Temple of the Forgotten Goddess is a Pathfinder 1st Edition one-shot. It revolves around a ruined temple in a deep forest. And I can't help but think that I've covered this release on other systems in the past, so I mean, there's that. The Bardess's Library number 5 is a collection of material from Legendary Games for the Pathfinder RPG 1st Edition. Orphan Bookworm has Prayer, Gods of Protection and War for Pathfinder 2nd Edition, detailing a couple of deities that can be put into any setting based off of deities from Eastern religion and myth. Wizards of the Coast has the 2024 version of the D&D Monster Manual, as I said, available for Roll20 through DriveThruRPG. Mostly put this up there just in case anybody buys it, so I can get an affiliate link. Anyway, Tomb of the Dead God is a 5th edition adventure set in a port city, as well as the mysterious tomb buried under the nearby desert. The Hilt is a 5th edition adventure dealing with a city where some people have been found murdered in a manual reminiscent of an ancient ritual. A Taste of Trouble is a 5th edition adventure that starts with a magical mishap that lures the party to a quaint cottage in the hills. Sorry about that. Clockwork Uprising is a 5th edition adventure where a once reliable clockwork guardians of a city have turned against their creators. Elven Tower has Angel of Love and Death, an adventure suited for D&D, as well as Shadow Dark. I believe they had another one too, but I couldn't get a link to it, so sorry. ND Hobbies has Dungeon Snap, Classic Adventures, a selection of 3 short adventures that can be used for either 5th edition or any OSR system. It also have Dungeon Snap, Masters of the Elements, another collection of 3 themed adventures for 5th edition and OSR systems. Opus Fairy is a collection of fey creatures and magic items for 5th edition. Oracle's Codex is a set of divination-based player options compatible with 5th edition and Black Flag-based systems such as Tales of the Valiant. N Publishing has 2 issues of their Level Up Gate Pass Gazette for their advanced 5th edition system. There's issues 31 and 32 available now. They include various material to help those systems, such as articles, new options, sometimes adventures, that sort of thing. Frog God Games has a number of offerings, both old and new adventures, converted to Dungeon Crawl Classics RPG format. And this is one I didn't know they were going to do, probably because I was sleeping on the job, apparently. There's Rapanathuk, the Mouth of Doom, which serves as an intro to the Rapanathuk Mega Dungeon. They also have Encephalon Gorgers of the Moon, 1975, that's the MC whatever one. That's a classic intro one. They've got the Tower of Dead Thieves and the 12 Days of Orcus, all converted to DCC. I'm going to be looking forward to see, are they going to put Rapanathuk into Dungeon Crawl Classics format? I'm curious about that. I enjoy that dungeon. I don't know if I'm going to buy it yet again, but it'd be interesting to see. Anyway, Fight On, issue 16, is a continuation of the classic OSR-focused zine, now resumed after many years hiatus. I think they resumed a while back, but they're putting it out, I think, biannually or something. OSR Advanced Player Options is a collection of material meant to expand the old-school Essential system and other similar OSR systems. It includes everything from advice to optional rules to new systems, new spells, and so on. Survivors of Frith is an OSR-based adventure where long ago, just creatures fell from the sky, started taking things over. Some refugees escaped into the halls of green light, which disappeared, and now decades later they have returned, and the survivors are eager to find out what's happened to the world in their absence. It is a post-apocalyptic sandbox adventure for old-school Essentials Advanced Fantasy. The Twisted Tower of Maladrix is a 20-level mega dungeon for OSR systems and other fantasy RPGs. There's Legends of Seer Newell, Isles of Mists, a setting supplement for the Dragonbane system. Cubicle 7 has Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay High Elf Player's Guide, which offers material for playing High Elves in the Warhammer Fantasy world. Loner, Steel and Sorcery is a solo tabletop RPG based on the Loner solo RPG rules in a sort of sword and sorcery based world with kind of harsh combat, dangerous magic, that sort of thing. Horde Wars Advanced is a medieval fantasy D12 based RPG. Drimwake is a fantasy RPG in a dreamlike world filled with whimsical adventures. Sounds interesting. Kaiser's Gate is an RPG using the Savage Worlds rule set that deals with an alternate history World War I, where magic and magical fantasy creatures exist and take part in the Great War. Tales of a Menace and Mystery, Stories of Suspense, is a collection of 15 adventures for the Tales of a Menace and Mystery RPG, which I believe is a pulp-focused RPG. Urban Shadows, 2nd edition, is an urban fantasy tabletop RPG using the Powered by the Apocalypse engine. Renegade Game Studios has a couple of accessories for the Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition RPG. There is Revelations of the Dark Mother, the Gehenna War Sourcebook, and Wine Dark Waters, which is like a story for them. Finally, Mongoose has the Borderland for the Traveler system, detailing the worlds of the Borderland between the Imperium and the Aslan Hierate. And with that, I'm going to move on to crowdfunding campaigns. Remember that contributing to a crowdfunding campaign should be done only at your own risk. Doing so is no guarantee of even receiving a product. Mentioned here is not an endorsement, but is for informational purposes only. Psionics 2nd Edition will be a revitalized psionic system for the Pathfinder 2nd Edition RPG. The Trident of Thalassus looks to be a 5th Edition Undersea adventure. Maw of the Cube will be a 5th Edition adventure featuring a particularly large gelatinous cube in the shape of a dungeon, apparently. Kagajima Veil of the Titans will be a 5th Edition compatible supplement and adventure detailing an island with material inspired by Japanese folklore. Saving Private Tom will be a 5th Edition adventure in which you are to infiltrate a dark cult to save a companion that you hardly know anymore. Horrors of the Deep Snatching Tides will be a short one-shot adventure for the D&D set in a Lovecraftian-inspired nautical campaign. African Monsters will be a 5th Edition bestiary of African legendary creatures and myths from Legendary Games. The Ranger Epic Heroes Encyclopedia will be an expansion of the Ranger for 5th Edition from levels 20 to 30. Heroes of Evil will be a 5th Edition 2024 version resource with 12 original evil subclasses. Whispers and Whiskers for 5th Edition looks to fund 2 distinctly different offerings, one featuring Eldritch Horrors and one featuring cute critters. Troll God's Skull Quest will be a campaign adventure from Ken St. Andre, suited for Monsters, or really any RPG, but mostly those compatible ones. The False Temple is looking to be a 100-plus room mini mega dungeon for OSR systems focused on BX-compatible material, especially the upcoming Old Castle system from the same developer. The Hollow Remains will be a set of 4 Italian-based RPG scenarios for Call of Cthulhu, Vampire Systems, 5th Edition OSR, etc. Really any tabletop RPG, but with a focus on Italy's legacy. Windheim, Winter Ravages will be a continuation of the Windheim campaign, this one an adventure for Dragonbane. Draconia, Corruption's Echo will be a narrative fantasy RPG with an old-school style rulebook where you play an adventurer in the kingdom of Draconia. The Village Hunt, Vale Hollow will be a grimdark survival-style solo tabletop RPG with Lovecraftian themes. Not really RPGs themselves, but worth mentioning. The Steve Jackson Games is looking to reprint the Fighting Fantasy solo adventure game books from Ian Livingston and another Steve Jackson. Things like Forest of Doom, Citadel of Chaos, Deathtrap Dungeon, and so forth. You know, the classics. Finally, there is the Fast Core RPG Super Bundle, which is looking to fund a collection of the Fast RPG offerings all in one bundle. And on that note, I'm going to wrap it up here. As always, links will be below. Let me know what you think about this attempt to split these into 2 videos. I'm hoping it will ease the viewing experience for those who really only want to pay attention to one or the other. Although I appreciate those who, watch both. I'm hoping to get some more videos out. Sorry for the delays of the last few weeks now. I'm just working very hard to catch up with basically a month worth of backlog. Until next time, take care and goodbye.
And if you are still watching, I would like to take the opportunity to thank my supporters, the top tiers of which are listed on the screen, without whose support I would not have been able to offer the variety of content that I have on this channel throughout the years. If you're feeling particularly generous and would like to join them, you can support the channel. There are a variety of options to do so. I have a Patreon, a Subscribestar, as well as channel memberships enabled. If you are not in a position to contribute, simply leaving a like, a comment, or sharing my videos are all wonderful ways to help the channel grow without spending a dime, and are all greatly appreciated.